love? Welcome to the Ariel Show. I hope you had a good week. Today I'm sharing what exactly goes through my head when I am on stage. On stage and felt super amazing and present and alive and connected with when I'm singing in the audience, and a lot of times that does happen, but sometimes that doesn't happen. And when that doesn't happen, it's usually because there is something going on, which is why the first thing that I always notice when I head out on stage is what my mix is sounding like. This is especially true if my mix is sucking. It's almost like, you know, when you're sick and you like try to kind of like think yourself out of it and be like, it doesn't matter, I can still get done when I need to, but it keeps kind of sabotaging you. That's what it's like to have a really crappy mix. A lot of us in the industry use in-ear monitors, and so you're gonna have this custom built mix just for you. You're hopefully gonna have a sound check and be able to get it right. But sometimes stuff changes, and it's happened to me before. I'll get my mix perfect and then we'll go on stage and all I will hear is just guitars and no vocals. And when you cannot hear yourself, oh my God, especially as a vocalist, when you can't like look down at your frets or like visually see the instrument that you're playing, all you have to go on is the audio of that and like the feel. And so you don't even know if you're on key or not, which is super embarrassing. So then it's like you start getting self-conscious, you're trying to like flag down the sound guy without letting the audience know that you're having a nervous breakdown on stage. So stressful. Okay, assuming the mix is fine, which a lot of nights it is, the next thing I move on to is just connecting with the crowd, looking around, seeing who's in the audience. Are there any friends out tonight? Did any of my family members come that I should wave at? Are there any fans that have come to multiple shows that I need to make eye contact with and let them know that I see them and I'm grateful that they're there? I also just like to scan the room and get the vibe of it, you know, like how is the crowd? How is the energy? Did the opening band warm up the crowd? Is it my job to warm up the crowd? Kind of just see where we're at, because that's going to determine the type of performance I deliver. It's kind of like you're on a first date and you need to kind of read the other person and see, okay, are we jumping right in? Like, have we done this together before? Or is this like brand new? Is this like a cold audience where we gotta like warm them up from scratch and like introduce ourselves and win them over? And there's just a different vibe if you're winning a crowd over versus like if you're already all partying together and you all get each other and love each other. Next thing I'm thinking about on stage is about not tripping, especially when I'm wearing amazing high shoes, which I've learned not to do because it's just too embarrassing to trip in the middle of like some power note. But we have, you know, these ego risers, these boxes we stand on. I have my little step. There's usually cables everywhere. You gotta like read out the stage and just be like aware of your body and where you are in relation to the other instruments. If it's a small stage that night and I've got like my guitar player Sean like right here in my face, I have to be thinking, okay, don't headbang into his guitar. Don't run into him. Like, here's the part where we need to switch. There's a lot of logistical stuff that I'm feeling out every night. And that's why sound checks are so helpful, not just for the audio mix, but also to get the vibe of what the stage is like. If you're up really high, you're gonna be doing different kinds of moves than if it's like, you know, a 2-inch high stage, which we've had to play those and they're like really awkward. But so basically the whole time I'm thinking, don't trip, don't trip, don't trip. Along those lines, as much as I say I don't care about this, a lot of times I'm thinking, are my extensions showing? With all the headbanging that we're doing, all the movement, I just don't want like some piece of hair to come flying across the stage. I've heard that happen to other female performers and I don't want to join that club. And so sometimes, yeah, I'm honestly just thinking, crap, how is my hair? Something that also comes to mind right around, oh, I'd say the bridge of whatever song we're on is, oh crap, what am I supposed to do next? What am I supposed to say next as the front person? It's my job to talk in between songs. And I don't always know what I'm supposed to say. And I try to think of things beforehand. I try to have a bit of like, kind of a guideline of what I'm gonna talk about, but you guys, there have been so many times I have introduced the wrong song or said this is our last song, we'll really have more, or forgotten to, you know, thank the other bands that were with that night and just screwed it up. And so I've learned right around with the 30-second mark, 30 seconds left of that song, I gotta look down at my set list, which is usually right on the floor, right beneath me, and I can just see it and start thinking, okay, what are we supposed to say next? What's the first word of that speech you're supposed to give? And I usually just wing it. I try not to be like too, you know, anal about it, because I could like memorize this whole thing, and I think that's not super vibey and in the moment. So I try to be more authentic, I'd say, than that, but I do have to plan. Otherwise I will screw it up. And then before we get to our last few songs, a little alarm bell goes off in my head and it says, Ariel, you're supposed to be enjoying this. This is your life's work. Be present, be happy, be in the moment and love what you're doing. And I usually do. And so it's nice to be able to play alongside as you have like the time to kind of explore, to feel out the vibe in the room, to connect with everyone, and also to be like, holy crap, I'm on stage right now. Like all the work that we've done our whole lives, all the tour prep, all, you know, the connecting, all the sleeping in the van, all the nights, like it's all for this moment right here. And so if we're not enjoying that, that's a real shame. And like that's really important to me, to not become one of those musicians who like hates to play live or who hates their job description, because I know that I have an awesome job. And so I want to be present for it and like kind of loving it and recognizing how freaking awesome it is that I get to like hang out and sing my heart out for a living. So that is what goes through my head during a live performance. What do you think? Is this what you expected? Is it totally weird? I don't know. I mean, this is just my experience. You know, I try to view it as like Tom Jackson said, your job as kind of the front person is to keep all the plates spinning in the room. And so you start over here and you're giving eye contact to the front row, and then you're engaging with the balcony, and then you're like trying to talk to the people in the back. And by the time you get back around, like the plate's not spinning anymore. You gotta like start it all over again. And so there's a lot that goes on in our heads. If you're a performer, I would love to hear what goes on in your head when you're on stage. And please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, you should share this episode with a friend who you think would enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Thank you to my patrons for making this episode happen. You're the reason I do this. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Have a good week.
They're coming for your fire when they try to push you lower, but you keep on going higher. You're a flame and they'll wanna water you down, down.